Hey guys, and welcome to today's learning. Today, we're going to talk about how to annotate a CAFS student's response so that they fully know what they need to do to improve, where they need to go, and how we can actually improve their results in community and family studies. I'm Kell Bell, and welcome to annotating our student's response. We're going to look at a simple 4-step approach to annotating a student's response using a simple analogy called glue. Now, glue has evolved over time and it has looked like lots of different things, but the main thing that has featured in this particular way I provide feedback to my kids is the use of highlighters in class, in student responses, annotating each other's responses, but also annotating their own response is the way that I've used this particular acronym. So glue stands for the glossary of keywords, the link, understanding of the syllabus, and then examples. And what we're really going to do is we're going to show students in their response the part of their response that really kind of caters towards that particular acronym. So what I would get my students to do is I'd get my student to submit a response, or we might do a model response in class, we might demonstrate a response, or the kids themselves might have, 5 minutes. Okay, you guys have 5 minutes, quickly, have a go at answering this particular response. And after that, we might do this particular strategy to give the kids feedback on their particular response. So what we would do is look for where in their answer have they actually addressed the glossary of keyword. Now, you guys know, many of you know by now, that the glossary of keyword is often the crucial missing ingredient in a student's response. We're going to look for in their response where they've actually addressed that glossary of keyword, where they've actually done what that glossary of keyword actually gets the kids to do. Because we know that each of those glossary of keywords are completely different. Describe is very different to explain, to analyze, to assess, to propose. They're all very different things. Otherwise, we'll just get the kids to just describe everything. And many of our kids are still at that describing level. They're just describing, they're just giving you guys content, but not actually showing that glossary of keyword in their response. Embedding that response throughout their answer is really important. And what I get my students to really look for is the language that they're going to use to actually apply that glossary of keyword. Now, this is crucial. What I'm talking about here is showing the marker, showing you as the marker, showing HSC markers that the kids have actually used that word to demonstrate the understanding. So if it's an explain question, looking in that answer for where the kids have actually done that cause and effect. And the kids can use words like this relates to, or this results in, or the impact of this might mean, or the cause of this might include. Their words, their triggers as a marker, as a teacher, that we're going to look for that particular, those phrases in the student's response. That language to demonstrate understanding is really important. Where the kids have actually nailed this, we're going to highlight that in green. Now, glue, the analogy behind glue is really about all the bits that make up a good response, how it all kind of comes together, how it's all glued together as one really great response. If there's a missing ingredient, if there's a missing part of it, then the kids haven't addressed all parts of the question. So when we're providing the kids with some feedback, annotating their responses, we really need to look for those phrases, look for that language, look for how they've actually addressed that glossary of keyword. And I want you guys to look at marking criterias, marking guidelines that either you've developed at school, or if you have looked at the NESL website or past HSC questions, you will see how crucial this is. It's a crucial step and often a missing ingredient in our CAFS students' responses. So the top 2 mark ranges, are they actually addressing the glossary of keyword? Yes, you will see in the marking guideline that it actually has, that explicit understanding of the glossary of keyword. So maybe the top 2 mark ranges, if it's an 8 marker, maybe an 8, a 6 to 7, it really gets the kids to demonstrate that understanding of the glossary of keyword. If the kids don't do that glossary of keyword, often they'll not access those top 2 mark ranges. So we're talking like 0 to 5 out of 8 because they haven't actually addressed that glossary of keyword. If they're just including content, most often the kids can't access those top 2 mark ranges. So we're talking kind of cutting it off at that 5. And I want you to go to the NESL website and have a look for this. Have a look at past HSC questions and marking guidelines for that, and you'll see that if the kids haven't actually addressed the glossary of keyword, you will see what mark they receive. And they're really missing some crucial marks here. So when I use Google in my students' response, I look for that. I look for them really showing really detailed understanding of those glossary of keywords. It is a game changer, and I want you guys to be really mindful of when you're actually teaching these glossary of keywords. Okay, that's the glossary of keywords. The second letter stands for link. So L for link. And we highlight the links in our response in pink. Really easy to remember. So when the kids have actually addressed the glossary of keyword, it's in green. Where they've shown those links, it's in pink. Have they shown a link back to the question? Are they referring to the question specifically in their answer? Where's that connection? And often the kids don't have that good connection. They might have it maybe in their points, like when they use a Peel paragraph structure, they might have it in their point, but they to kind of get off track a little bit. They kind of don't go back to that point that they've made or the actual question. So where they've made a good link back to the question, we're going to highlight this in pink. And we want to make the kids really aware that they're actually staying on track, because often our kids do go off track and do kind of jumble their answer, but the pink really gets them to kind of go, yes, am I answering the question? Yes, am I linking back to that particular question? Okay, the next one is U, so it stands for understanding. And what I'm talking about here is that knowledge and understanding of the content. This is the syllabus content here. So anything that the kids have actually addressed in terms of the syllabus, in terms of content, how they've shown you their understanding of that content is going to be in that orange. So where it's in orange, the kids have really nailed the content, they've addressed the knowledge and understanding, they really kind of know what it takes with that content. And they've really displayed to you explicitly that they understand the content, they understand the concepts that you've actually taught them, and they're proving that understanding. So in that response, where the kids have actually shown that knowledge and understanding, they might have used, elaborated on something, they might have provided you with a really good definition of a particular area. That's where it's in orange. Have they shown knowledge and understanding of the syllabus? That's in orange. Now for the E is in yellow. So E stands for examples. These are really crucial. And again, often our kids miss out on that. Have a look at marking guidelines. See how crucial those examples really are. Are they really detailed? Are they specific examples? If they're really airy-fairy, if they just talk about Centrelink the whole time, it's not varied, it's not unique. We want the kids to have really unique, really varied examples in their responses. We want them to stand out from the crowd. We don't want them to just be the same response over and over and over again. We want the kids to have really varied examples, really unique examples that are maybe linked to their context. Often in groups in context, we might think about services in the local area. Let's use those in the kids' responses. They might think about particular examples that they've, like a situation that they've heard of or a case study, for a parenting and caring style. Let's use those in a response rather than the typical thing that you might see in a textbook, you might see in some notes that the kids have done. Let's get the kids to think outside the box. Let's get the kids to think really different types of examples to stand out from the crowd and really display that they have really extensive knowledge and understanding and can demonstrate to you they really know the content because they've shown you in an example. So in a kid's response, we can really look for that in their response if they have done it well and if they've really used that Peel paragraph structure. If you're not sure about what Peel entails, Peel is the paragraphing structure that I suggest only because it links to P. Peel. That's just my little analogy. But the P is for the point. The E, the first E is for elaboration. The next E is for examples. Have they shown and demonstrated examples of their understanding of that content? And then the L is the link. So what I really want you guys to be doing is really encouraging the kids to use lots of different examples in their response. Where they have used an example, let's highlight that in yellow. If there's no examples in the kids' response, they haven't really demonstrated that higher order thinking. They haven't been able to apply their understanding to the content. It's a missing part of their response. Let's demonstrate it to the kids. Let's show them that they actually haven't got that in their response. And maybe they're missing out on some crucial marks that can really improve their answer. When we use this annotation, it kind of gives the kids a really good guidance that they might be missing parts of their answer. So if they've got, the yellow, if they've got the orange, if they've got the pink, and there's no orange in their no green in their answer, it means the kids haven't actually addressed all parts of a good answer. The glossary of keyword is missing. If the kids don't link it back to the question and it's all just mumbo jumbo, then they're not actually hitting all of those parts of a good answer. What glue does is really shows the kids that they need to have all those parts happening in a good response. Now, this is really crucial for the kids to show them, to demonstrate it to them, to give each other, opportunities for feedback. So you modeling it and going, okay, here's where my glossary of keyword is, here's my link, here's my knowledge and understanding, here's my example, and show the kids and demonstrate that to them. On the whiteboard, you might then underline it where you address that. You might post-it note it on the whiteboard. You might do it on your laptop. You might beam it up to your projector and then show the kids, and then they might come out and highlight where they think you've addressed that. So lots of different ways that you guys can use to actually show the kids what glue looks like in a response, writing a response, then annotating it. The kids actually writing a response, them, like themselves, actually annotating their own response. And also, which I really love, is for the kids to annotate each other's responses, them really sharing the load, giving each other really explicit feedback that they can use to move themselves forward in their journey. Guys, the kids really need to know what is missing in a response. The kids really need to know how to provide an annotation, how to decode a response to help themselves improve. If they just keep writing answers and keep writing answers and we don't give feedback on that, and they don't know a way forward, then how are we going to get our kids to improve their results in CAFS? So I have a free resource for you guys to help you. A toolkit that might help your kids really look at what glue looks like in a response. And if you would like to reach out to me and send me a direct message or a message at the LearnNet, I would be more happy to send you that link and provide you with all the details about how you can implement glue in your classroom.